Now the horses that we would probably sell, I will say though, the last like month, I've definitely felt kind of like burnt out. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, welcome to today's video. So I feel like I haven't done one of these in a long time. Not I feel like, I actually know I haven't done one of these in a while. Today we are going to be doing a Q&A. I've actually put this on my Instagram a couple times and have kind of just forgot to do this video. So I asked you guys again on my Instagram to leave me some questions. I answered some over on my Instagram as well that day. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure that you do so that you can be involved in videos like this and other videos that I do incorporating my Instagram audience. So my Instagram handle is just at Stephanie Moratto, same exact name as the name on my YouTube channel, super easy to find. And I always pretty much update there kind of first before I update YouTube, if that makes sense. But anyways, without further ado, we have a Q&A that I'm doing. I told you guys to ask me anything, everything, because I want to answer some questions that you guys have been asking me, and I have a bunch, so we'll see what we can get to today. Aw, that was so nice! You literally just pulled me towards it. It's because you want to see what's on my phone. I think Trigger wants to pick the first question. So, before we answer the first question, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. Make sure you turn on those post notifications so you don't miss any of these videos, and of course have a chance for a post notification shout out. Alright, let's go ahead and get right into this first question. There's a lot of really good questions on here. Some that you guys have never really asked, some that I've never even had to answer because you guys haven't asked. So I'm kind of excited for this Q&A. So let's get started. So the first question, I always get this and I do try to answer it, but I have a couple asking me this, and it says, what is your job and what do you do for a living besides YouTube? So I work in marketing, and basically YouTube was never like my job. So that's why you guys always ask that, because that's why I have a full-time job. YouTube does help though now be able to do like extra stuff with the horses. It helped along the way for the barn, but we have a lot of animals, and to be able to continue to afford them, I do have to have a full-time job. And I actually really like my job. I like what I do, so I work in marketing. I guess it kind of like makes sense with why I like to do YouTube, because YouTube is not only just filming and editing. I love all of that as well, which all is in, look at this. Trigger, what are you doing? Which incorporates marketing. So I really like that, I guess. I just am drawn to it. And that's what I do for a living. I don't know if it's forever, but I definitely think I will always be doing something in that space just because I really like it. I really like social media. I like marketing. I like Photoshop, all of those things. So yeah, that's what I do. I do get this question a lot, and I often will get like, what do I do to be able to afford it? The farm. I do a full-time job. Mike has a full-time job, so that's what I do. Next question. I'm going to do a couple questions here. We'll jump around the farm. And do a bunch of questions all throughout because you guys have asked different questions to everybody. But I want to bring Mike over here really quick because I want his take on this question too. So I think it'd be fun because we probably have two different answers for it. Look at Miss Dinky. Ah, she just stopped. She's been picking up the hose and throwing it around. She's so funny. Oh, now she's gonna bite the goat. Anyways, back to the scheduled programming. Okay, you're gonna need your dad. Okay, there we go. So the question is the easiest animal to take care of. So I haven't really thought about my answer yet, so I was gonna let you answer first.
I think the pigs.
The pigs?
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Feed them, water them. See you later.
You know what? That is probably the easiest. Or the chickens. The chickens are so easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna say the chickens because they don't really need to be like socialized. They're not like that type of animal. So we don't really need to do anything, and there's literally no maintenance with them. They do their own thing. We let them in and out of their coop. We feed them, give them mealworms, and give them water. But even so, like they're constantly eating all around the farm. I would say definitely the chickens compared to the pigs, because the pigs, you have to check on them, like make sure that they're okay, and also like their water is a little bit more intricate than like having to like give the chickens water, because you have to like you have to empty the trough and stuff like that. So I would definitely say that the chickens are probably the easiest animal to take care of. I always say that too when everyone asks me, because there's another question here, we'll intertwine that too. And it says like, what's the first step of like starting a farm? And I'm gonna say like, as far as like your animals go, if you're wanting to have livestock and stuff like that, I would definitely say start with chickens, a small amount of chickens. because you actually learn a lot through chickens, I would say.
Yeah.
So definitely chickens would be the first.
That's what we started with.
Well, we had horses first, but when we moved into our first property, we did get chickens before we got any of the other animals. Trigger's messing with you. He's a funny guy. Next question is, how are you? How is Mike? Hope y'all are doing good. So, since he's here, we'll just ask him how he's doing. How are you doing? He's doing good.
Tired sometimes.
Tired, yeah.
Good though.
We are doing good. The last month has been a little bit crazy for us. We actually got sick twice in August, so it's been a little bit harder around the farm. And there's a fly. But other than that, it's like the summer. I feel like what do we should call it? Like summer blues.
Yeah.
Like up north, people I feel like kind of take off the winter, and like especially when it comes to like horses and stuff, they don't really ride during the winter and stuff because it's so snowy. And then for summer, for us down here, it's kind of like we take the summer off because of how hot it is, how muggy it is, how wet it is, and that's just kind of how it goes. So the summer is like our blues because we can't do everything that we can do all year round, and we're just like waiting for the summer to be over.
We can, it's just brutally hot.
Yeah,
We don't want to.
that is true. So I moved around in here with Dinky and the goats. Hopefully they don't knock the camera down. But this question kind of goes in with the last one about like how we're doing and stuff, because the next one said, do you ever feel burnt out with your farm chores? It's raining, guys, as well, so if you hear that, we have a nice little relaxing background with this rain. But as far as like feeling burnt out, we don't like through the whole time of having the farm, like I think we go in phases of not like being burnt out, but just being more tired than others. And that just depends like if we're working a lot around the farm or if we're just like really busy in general. But as far as like the chores go, like I don't think we necessarily get burnt out, but whoa, oh my gosh. Sorry, Vinny was having a little kicking fest there. So I will say though, the last like month, I've definitely felt kind of like burnt out as far as like not the chores, but like YouTube goes, if that makes sense. So, and also with being sick and trying to do like farm chores, YouTube, my job, and you know, making sure that we're taking care of all the animals and being attentive of them, because obviously that comes first. So in my first time of like having YouTube is like the first time I've actually felt burnt out doing it all. So I have obviously posted a lot less, but that also includes us being like sick for almost all of the month of August. I know that's really weird. It feels like I literally have been sick almost the whole month of August. What is one piece of advice you would give someone who wants to start a farm? Is basically like don't take on too much all at once. Like it's really exciting to get a bunch of animals. And keep in mind, we've gotten all of our animals over the collection of like almost 5 years, or well, we had some of the horses before then, but as far as the other animals, but don't take on like too many all at once because it can get really overwhelming and then it make it not fun because you don't even get time to enjoy your animals. And it's really important to make sure that you have time to also enjoy them. Thank you, Willie. So that'd be my biggest advice is if you're going towards the starting a farm with livestock, and if it's like a hobby farm or a small homestead or something like that, a hobby homestead, make sure that you don't get like overly too excited of the fact of having all these different species of animals, and just enjoy like the ones that you have, because if you get too many all at once, it can end up being too much of like a chore and then take the fun out of what farm life and the tranquility of being out here and it being quiet. So the last question I'm going to answer in this stall, and it pertains to stalls, and the question is, what's your stalling schedule in the summer and winter? Okay, can I finish the question? For your horses. And you guys get so confused about this and always ask why some horses are in, some horses are out. And I get it, it can be confusing because day after day with different videos, sometimes we randomly switch it up where the horses are. But I will tell you consistently where some of the horses are to hopefully make it make sense. So Trigger during the summer is always in his stall during the day, always. So Trigger has really bad skin issues when it comes to summer. There's something called Swedish. It's basically a reaction to the saliva of bugs that bite in our summer months. Even in the stall, his skin still gets pretty tore up, but not as bad as being out in the pasture during the day. So Trigger is always stalled during the day. So honestly, he could be the only horse that is stalled during the day. My other horses don't really like matter about it. But the reason why you'll see another horse out with him during the nighttime is because I always put my horses on a buddy system. I'm not gonna just put 4 of my horses out all together and then have Trigger be the only one out at night by himself, because the rest of the horses would be in the stalls. So that's why you see 2 horses out together and then 3 horses, or even vice versa. I switch them sometimes. For a very long time, it was only Trigger and Cash going out at night, staying in during the day by no particular reason of Cash. I just chose Cash. I felt that Trigger was a good role model for Cash. If Cash is out with Blaze, sometimes they will break the fence. They like to do more stuff like that. All right, you guys, it's so many hours later. As you can see, it's pitch black outside. My property is literally waterfront. We have had rain non-stop for hours. It's 9 p.m. But we've got more questions to answer. Mike's speeding because, like I said, it's late. We've not been able to come out here literally because it's been just completely downpouring. But we were able to get the horses in when it was raining, so that was good. So next question. I was gonna move around the farm a little bit more, but it ain't happening because of the rain. And now it is dark out. So this next question says, do you think you will ever expand your farm at some point or even move to bigger land? I see this question a lot. You know, we've only started with our first property almost 5 years ago, and we've expanded so much since then, and we've gotten so much more land since then. Ideally, anyone's dream, I think, that wants property, wants livestock, wants animals, wants a farm, is gonna always want to expand. A long time ago, I thought I wanted like 20 acres or more, which I think would be a dream. But the more land, the more upkeep and the more work. And I have so many animals that even this upkeep is already like a full-time job. So I think that I want more land. But definitely, like, I would be super happy with just like 10 to 12 acres completely. And I don't want to expand as far as like farm animals go. I'm really content with the amount that I have. So I don't think that we'll expand as far as like the farm goes as far as animals, because I just don't have a need or really a want for any more at this point. Just because there has to be a moment when you have to realize that you have to stop so that you can still make sure that you're giving enough attention to the ones that you already have. So I'm not missing anything, I'm not filling any voids, I'm not needing any other animals. So that would be my answer to that. So I wanted to share with you guys being outside about this next question, but it's not gonna happen because one, it's dark and it's completely flooded. But this next question is, when are you going to build the arena? And unfortunately, I don't think we are going to be building the arena. We have completely cleared it. As you guys have seen the progress in my other videos, that we have begun well, not even begun, we are very much far into the process of burning all of the cleared debris. We're at the very end point of getting it completely cleared. Grass is growing back and everything, and we're at the point of, it's really hard now to take away that land and that grass for an arena. Before, when we didn't technically have grass there, we had just the woods. We didn't really think of it as grazing pasture, so it wasn't anything that we were missing out on. It wasn't anything that we thought the horses were missing out on. But now seeing that there's all that room there, it's almost really hard to take it away for an arena. And I just think with the amount of horses that we have, and we have the goats and the donkey, I would prefer to probably just have that area as space for them. And we have so many local arenas. I have friends with places that I can ride. We live so close to a trail preserve, so I'm not missing out on the opportunity of riding. I have so many options to ride. I moved us around just a little bit. We're in front of Cash. He's eating, so he's probably not gonna want any part of this video, but this next question is for Cash because it's asked, am I still into barrel racing? I saw this question a couple times about wanting to see barrel racing videos and stuff like that. And this question is a little bit like hard for me because I spent so much time like trying to do this sport, and I think this sport is really fun to watch. I actually really like the sport. I have a lot of friends that are in this sport and I enjoy being in the sport with them. But the process of starting a young horse when I'm not even a barrel racer, and that is also like novice at barrel racing, has been an experience which I know will make me like a better barrel racer in the end of it. But it's just a lot of work, and right now I'm just so busy. I feel like I always say that, but I'm just so busy and I just don't really have a lot of time. And for me, I'm not the type of person, not the type of equestrian, not the type of horse rider that is going to not work my horse all week and then bring it to a show. That's just not something that I can do, and that's kind of how barrel racing is. There's just one show like every week type of thing. That's just at least what I would be able to do. And I just can't keep up with consistently keeping him muscled up throughout like all the time. So it's not where I can just randomly go to a barrel race because I'm not constantly riding him. If I took like a month or so and just continually rode him, got him all muscled up, got him in tune, then yeah, of course I would continue. But that's kind of why barrel racing is never gonna be like first priority for me. First priority for my horses is taking care of them, and I really love trail riding. That's kind of like our thing. We love to trail ride. So as far as that goes, I am still into it, but I'm definitely taking like, but I've definitely put it a lot on the back burner, where for many months there, I was really, really into it because I needed to put the pattern on him, and I had a trainer put a pattern on him, so I needed to continue. I was really keeping up with my lessons, but it's just kind of, you know, like I said in the beginning of the video, we kind of take the summer off, well, at least I do, and I just really haven't been riding him as much in that particular, let's call it, sport. I like to ride him bareback. You guys know I take him on trail rides a lot and I ride him bareback, and it's just what I like to do. So that's my answer on that. I'm still into it. I just don't know the full future of where I'm gonna go with it. And it's not something, like I said, you can just decide that you're gonna go, for me at least, on a Friday or Saturday night and go race if I haven't rode him all week or even in a couple weeks. So full disclosure, I'm not sure much. That's why I haven't really talked about it much. I'm not sure exactly where I'm gonna go with that. This is us basically sitting on a couch in the barn because we have taken all of our shaving bags and we've decided to sit here. So Mike's gonna join me for the last couple questions. Okay, so for the final questions here, basically I'm gonna intertwine this one really quickly because it kind of works. And it says, do you still like doing YouTube? And there's another one that says, can you do a house tour? I would love to see it. I know those are like completely off the wall. Like they're not the same question, but their answer is kind of the same. So, oh, hello, Mishka. Hello.
Is that a herpes?
Yes, he is. You better let him go. Aww. But, so to answer the first one, I still like doing YouTube. I still love the concept of YouTube. I started YouTube as something that was just like fun. Like I told you in the beginning of the video, I love all things like editing, you know, Photoshop, making thumbnails. Like the process of YouTube, like I do love, and I feel like I always will love. And one of my favorite parts about it is the community that we've created through YouTube, and also all the benefits, all of the brands that I'm able to work with, all the opportunities through YouTube. So overall, like I still love doing YouTube. It's been such a cool avenue. The only thing like lately that I'm running into, which I feel like this happens with every creator, is trying to think of new ideas. And for some reason, like lately, it's just been a lot harder of thinking like what you guys want to see, just because I don't want to put out things that are always like the same over and over again. And sometimes like crazy stuff doesn't like happen every single day. So sometimes I feel like vlogs can be boring, but sometimes you guys love them, and it's just, you know, trying to make sure that we're putting out stuff that isn't just monotonous or the same.
Yeah,
after
not putting out stuff just to put it out.
Right. So I will say in the beginning, in the last like couple years, we've had so much changes and everything was so new to you guys because I've not been on YouTube for more than like, what, 2 or 3 years, maybe 3 years now. And everything was so new to you guys because I was just sharing everything, and especially with the move and all the new animals that we got through. But now we're in such like a normal routine of our life here at the farm, and we're not doing like anything too crazy at the farm that sometimes it's like, you know, what do you guys want to see? So definitely put down in the comments always if you guys have any video ideas, suggestions. I still always do like love the educational part of horses, so I always put out videos like that, just like to throw it through. But I also like to do vlogs. But why this matches up with that next question of can I do a house tour is because I've been kind of considering putting up a second channel that's more of like, I don't want to say more personal, but more like lifestyle, because you guys often ask me questions like, they're not personal questions, but I get a lot of things about like my hair, my makeup routine, and especially when I do day in the life, I always like cut that part out just because I do like to make this channel like inclusive of the people that are wanting to watch, and that's mostly about the animals. So I try to make it more forefront the animals to keep it interesting in that respect, because the animals are obviously why most of you guys are here. So I've been thinking lately if that's something that you guys think that I should do. You guys would be interested even in that more side of our life and outside of the animals. I mean, there's really not much of us outside of the animals, but it is more of those things, like more of me, I guess we would say, in our life in like a different aspect.
Yeah, more just like our life outside the barn.
Yeah. So I don't know, and like that's something like sometimes I hesitate like doing a house tour on this channel just because I always just wonder, does it make sense? So that would be something that would be like house there, and I love doing like indoor house DIY stuff, and I wish sometimes that I was able to take you guys throughout the whole process because I do share that a lot on my Instagram. But I was thinking if we housed that on a second channel, that maybe that'd be something that you guys are interested in. So definitely let me know that in the comments down below because I'm kind of interested in that too. So we'll see. You didn't get him.
No.
Okay, so the last question, which obviously you guys see on the title of this, and no one really ever asked me this question, and I was surprised because I had like 2 people ask me this and probably more, but just 2 that I ended up screenshotting. And the question is, will you ever sell any of your horses? And have you ever thought about selling one of your animals? So we don't have like on the top of our head like to go and sell like any animal. We do have a pretty hard policy like in our heads that once we get an animal that we want to, you know, have the animal for as long as we possibly can. And this one's a really hard one again, but I have 2 thoughts on this because I think all horses have like a specific purpose, and not every horse is supposed to be with like the first person that they're with. And even just like, I'm gonna talk about Trigger because he's my first horse. I got him when he was like 9 or 10 or something like that, yeah. And I just imagine if the people that had him kept him forever, like then I wouldn't have gotten him. And that horse, like I don't think he was supposed to be with any other person except me. So I don't think that, you know, I mean, I know we'll never get rid of Trigger ever, 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 because like that's my horse. And I mean, they're all my horses, but I just feel like if you're a horse person and you have horses, you'll know what I mean. It's kind of hard to explain until you're in this position. And then I also think about getting rid of horses, like, are they set up for a new home? So are they just gonna be a bad horse where that person's gonna need to get rid of them and they're gonna flop between different homes? So that kind of puts me to like Louis. He's not a bad horse, but you guys know he came from a kill pen, and I would never really want to like get rid of him because of what he's already been put through and the amount of trust that, you know, we've gotten from him, the little amount I should say, in literally 4 years. It's 5 years. It's taken so long to even get where we're at with him now, and he's not like a horse that's going to be like satisfying to somebody. Like you can't really ride him. So when people think of horses, they'll think, okay, if they're going to be rideable or if they're going to provide you like some type of
emotional support.
like, yeah, something like that. But you can't love on him. Like he's not like a lovey horse. Like, so for us with him, like, and honestly, he's like our easiest keeping horse. He does nothing. So, but for his own sake, we would never get rid of Louis just because like,
He'll never leave.
yeah, because I just can't put him through that again. And then as far as Blaze though, like he would be a great horse like for somebody else as well. Like well, and I say that because he's a good horse for anybody.
Yeah.
Like any age, any like beginner, old, like can ride him. He is a really, really good horse. You can lead line him, you can do anything with him. So like if we're talking about getting rid of a horse and being set up for a good home, like he would definitely be able to find like a fantastic home because
he would shine in so many different directions.
like there would be so many options there, but it's really hard for us to do that too because that's the same thing we think of. Like we love to be able to have people ride our horses and do fun stuff with us, and that's a horse that we would be looking for. So there's no point to really get rid of him or sell him because we would just be seeking out something else like that, I would think. Because Trigger, like he's a great horse for me, but not everybody can ride him. I mean, you could, but he'll definitely like,
he's interesting.
Yeah, he'll try to test you, whereas like Blaze, he doesn't care to do anything like that. So now the horses that we would probably sell would be, and I don't say probably like we're gonna sell them. It's like if we needed to, or push came to shove, or if we found a really great home that was like looking for something like that and I couldn't pass it up, would either be June or Cash. And I say those 2 for a multitude of reasons. One, because I still want to have a horse for like Mike, and I still want to have a horse for me. So technically, like I'm thinking like if we said we weren't ever getting rid of Trigger, if I said we weren't ever getting rid of Blaze, you know, obviously, and Louis, but we're not talking about riding. Louis isn't even in the equation anymore. because he's not leaving. Then we have just June and Cash. Cash and June are both really young, so they have a lot of...
They're both like athletes.
Yeah, exactly. So
they can shine in a lot of
definitely.
And go, like,
yeah, they're not just trail horses. They don't need to be just trail horses. They are young enough to be where you can take them any route. If you want, you know, to do reining, I mean, you know, June is built for it. She's registered all cow blood. She day worked for her whole life, so she could go back to that if she needed to. So many options. Honestly, I think she could even barrel race. She's a quarter horse. She's fast. She's strong on her front end. Where both of them, and like, you know, Cash has been started on the barrel pattern, so he definitely has room to grow in that area. And both of them are really good horses as well. They're so personable, very easy keepers, and they both like people. They're both in your pocket type of horses, and they have a lot of life left to them. I wouldn't feel like either of them would end up in bad situations. But we're not saying that we're selling horses, but I'm just answering the question. Going through it all, you know, having conversation and seeing if we ever would.
If there's ever two or one.
Yeah. But I am less opposed to selling a horse than I ever have in my life, because I have now this new thought of like all my horses, I don't have any single one of them as a baby. The closest one was Cash, and he was like 8 to 10 months. I can't remember now, thinking about it. But every single one of my horses came to me when they were older, and if those people didn't get rid of their horse and sell them to me, then we wouldn't have these horses. So I try to think of it that way, that the person who sold Trigger made me a really happy person when I got him, and every day when I see him, that if I needed to sell one of my horses, or if I found like a really good home, like I was saying, for one of my horses, that I know that if they could be like a better match for somebody else and make somebody else really, really happy. So that's kind of like the mindset I think about it. And I do believe that horses are a bit different as far as like selling goes, because there's so many purposes for them, and they literally live so long, like 30 years, it's a whole lifetime, you know. Yeah.
And they can link up with different people too.
Yeah, I totally agree.
They're not like dogs, like,
no.
You can't, like, I feel like a dog is like very...
stuck with you forever.
Yeah. Where a horse, like, you spend a couple of days with a horse, you know, they're already attached to you.
Yeah, no, I agree. So that's kind of just like open conversation topic. This cat wants to be held, doesn't want to be held. Just open conversation with that topic. Not saying that we are, so don't really get that in your head. But we have talked maybe about, though, possibly rehoming Cash, just because he's a really good horse that obviously has really good potential to be a barrel racing horse. And I don't want to let him sit and just, you know, be a trail riding horse if he has more potential to him, if I'm not going to go down that alley with, ironically, with barrel racing. That was kind of a pun. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to let a good horse sit. I think that is an injustice to the horse. I think that is an injustice to somebody else that is looking for a good horse. So with that being said, we'll end on that light note. If you guys like today's video, if you guys like this Q&A, then make sure you go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. Make sure you turn on those post notifications so you don't miss any of these videos. And of course, if I chance my post notification shout out, today's shout out goes to... Alright, you guys, don't forget to go and follow me on Instagram if you want to be a part of more videos like this. And of course, we love you, and we'll see you in the next one.